Morning all, how are we all doing? How is everybody this fine Monday morning? Morning Danny, morning FTNet with the correct account and the wrong account. Morning Church, Paul, JC, morning, how are we all doing? It's Monday, another week. Just before I start this morning, I've had a very important message in Telegram from somebody. Don't know if he's in here. Morning, Roger. But his name is Powerhouse, and he's contacted me this morning. I'm just going to read you the message. This could be the Holy Grail, guys. Bro. You always know a message is good when it starts with bro. First of all, we're not related. I'm white. Bro's probably not the terminology to use, but anyway. Your market structure is powerful. It's not my market structure. I didn't make it up. It's been in the markets since time began. But anyway, your market structure is powerful, but just needs 2 arrows for sniper entries. I'm not talking about the retest arrows. I can literally assist you. The indicator just needs confirmation arrows even before the block closes. I know when to enter your indicator, plus EA could literally be giving 100% signals with 1% drawdown. First, you cannot have 100% strike rate with 1% drawdown. That would be 99. So back to the maths room for you, mate. Anyway, I'm using your indicator with my 2 arrows. I'm always in the money. Please listen to me. Your 15 years experience is okay. I'm coming to you with 10 years. I literally have proven results. So my response was, yeah, right. Show me your P&L, please, with 100% strike rate and the 1% drawdown, which is physically impossible, and we'll talk. So I'll give you an update on that when I get a response. If you're in here, I'm waiting to hear. Anyway, just thought I'd start the stream off with that, because it's not often I get people contacting me with 100% strike rate signals, but I'm all ears. Very interested. Morning, JC, George, I think I've already said that. Toshio, how you doing? Toshio trades the US 30. You're in the wrong session. That starts this afternoon. Right, so kicking off with news as usual. So this week's members streams are a bit of a mishmash. So starting at 9 o'clock, we've got member streams this week. Today we are covering fundamentals. So today is going to be the basics of fundamentals and what you need to be aware of in the news. Tomorrow we are doing strategy development on the ADR reversal. We're doing testing on ADR reversal strategy. We're going to try and specifically look for a prop firm strategy. And Wednesday we're doing hedging strategies. So creating and testing hedging strategies, looking at the pros and cons of hedging. And Thursday we are doing currency correlation and exposure. And then Friday we will retweak the ADR strategies and the hedging strategies and come up with some results basically for them. So a bit of a mix this week, but if you're interested in fundamental analysis and currency correlation and that sort of stuff, i.e. keeping your exposure undercover, we're covering that today and on Thursday. So that's the member streams this week. If you're watching on replay, leave a comment if you've got any questions or anything. We'll start off with the news this week, which is basically what we're going to be covering today in detail. The whys, what fors, and everything you ever need to know about news, basically. So all this stuff. Yeah. Fundamentals. So this week we've got today a quiet day. So it's a bank holiday in Canada, US, and Japan today. So I wouldn't expect a huge amount of movement today. And if you look at the Asian session this morning, we've got wicks all over the place today so far. So we'll see what happens. London might move it a bit, but other than that, it's going to be a bit of a whippy day, I think. So no news today, quiet day. Tomorrow morning, we've got the claimant count change, which is to do with employment. We're forecasting a drop there, which would be unemployment reducing, which is good for the pound. So we'll see what happens with that. Canadian CPI is the main news tomorrow afternoon. So that's a big one. Obviously, that drives the interest rates. Again, we're going to cover all this today in the fundamental session at 9 o'clock. CPI for the New Zealand overnight, and then we've got the pound CPI on Wednesday morning. So that's forecast to be coming back down below target. Bailey, drop the rates now. Yes, drop them. You're late. So that's on Wednesday. That's going to be an interesting one because the pound has got potential to disappear on Wednesday. So be wary if you're longing the pound at the moment. We've got Lagarde speaking as well on Wednesday evening. Then we go into unemployment for the Aussie. We've got the euro rates. Again, they're dropping by 0.25% is the forecast. So again, potential drop on the euro coming on Thursday. That's the main news of the week. We've got retail sales and unemployment claims. Unemployment claims always come out on Thursday for the US. And then we've got the ECB press conference as well. So when we get the interest rates announced, usually half an hour later, we have the press conference. That is where the market tends to make the main move because it's waiting to see what forward guidance from the ECB is going to be, i.e. should we be piling into or dropping based on are you looking to increase or decrease interest rates next month. And then we've got retail sales for the pound on Friday. So Friday is a bit of a dead day. We've got talking heads as well. We cover all that stuff today as well in the fundamentals. And today is a bit of a dead day. So we're all weighted between Tuesday, Thursday this week for the majority of the news, and the vast majority of it is back end of the week. So quite often on big news back end weeks, we get a fairly quiet Monday, Tuesday while we're waiting for the market to sort of decide what it's going to do on Thursday. So this is obviously a potentially big mover tomorrow as well. So there's your news for this week coming up. Fundamentals over the weekend, or news over the weekend, not an awful lot. The main thing I picked out of this weekend's news was Kim Jong-un getting a bit stroppy. I don't know how else to call it, but basically North Korea orders fully armed units near the South Korean border. North Korea orders units to get fully ready to open fire, i.e. everyone else is having a war. I want a war. Basically, I can imagine that's the conversation that was going on in the Kim house over the weekend. Basically, he's cross because everyone else is having a fight and he wants a fight. So he's going to send a load of people to get killed. So yeah, that's obviously another potential flashpoint. I'm not quite sure how it would affect anybody if that kicks off because his main ally is Russia and Russia's a bit busy at the moment. So I'm not really sure if that is actually going to have any real impact, but we'll see. So be aware, obviously there's a lot more potential fundamental crap happening. The US bolstered Israel over the weekend, so they sent the THAAD air defense system in, which is basically US troops now on the ground in Israel using air defense systems. So it's one step closer to Iran getting hacked off, which is one step closer to the Middle East World War III. So yeah, we'll see. But yeah, it didn't really escalate massively over the weekend. If you look at the Swiss franc and the yen, not a massive amount of movement this morning. We haven't got any gaps, so there's not been any runs into safe havens over the weekend. So we'll see. Morning for Guinea. So yeah, so there's your news over the weekend. So today's a pretty flat day. Today we'll cover all the FX pairs and see how everything's going. Open this morning. Long on both at the open this morning. DAX, the 5-minute ORB and the pre-market range all within the same area. So no volume today. Pretty much the same on the FTSE as well. No volume as yet. So might be a bit of a hedgy day today. We'll see. But there's no momentum breakout today. Did anybody get on this? Yes, on this on Friday on the NASDAQ. No, not the NASDAQ. Oh, I got on the NASDAQ as well, but the Dow. The Dow Friday, the opening range breakout on Friday was literally bang, 3R, bang, 5R. And if you managed to hold it and not get taken out on a trailer, you got about 7 or 8 out of it. Huge. But that was a beauty. $900 profit, pound, sorry, this account. Straight out the bat on the Dow on within an hour on Friday. It's lovely. NASDAQ, we had a very quick expansion, but no, we just sat around and chopped. So NASDAQ, same thing, got out at the highs and took an aggressive drawdown control exit on that one. So I made about 3 or 4 on that as well. So it was a lovely day Friday, really good. But yeah, we'll see where we go with the rest of it today. But no breaks. Well, there's breaks long, but no momentum. So come back to that in a bit. See where we are. Fire Christ, are you using an ECN account on Robo Forex? Prime account I use. Leverage is 1 to 300, but 1 to 500, 1 to 300 doesn't really matter. High leverage for position trading. That's one of the things we're going to cover on Wednesday when we look at hedging strategies, because one of the main problems with hedging strategies is leverage. It's a very underlooked element with people trying to develop hedging strategies. Basically, you run out of leverage because when you're hedging, you're adding positions, and eventually you get to the point where your broker goes, "You ain't got any leverage left," and then you cannot continue the hedge, and that's where they tend to go wrong. So dodgy. Your stream always has some little interruption. Not aware of that. No one else has mentioned it. It might be your end. No one else has mentioned it. Is it really safe to, let's say, deposit 20k in an offshore brokerage? Up to you. If you want leverage, yes. All brokers are regulated, yeah. So Robo Forex, for example, are a regulated broker, yeah. They're just not regulated in the UK where I am, or the US where you are, or Australia, or wherever you are. But they are still a regulated broker, yeah. They're regulated by the FSC, Financial Services Commission. So there is still regulation. All brokers, the only broker you don't want to touch is a broker that is not regulated. Yeah, if they're not regulated, they're a rogue broker. They won't be around for long because they will get shut down by the Fed or whoever. But all brokers are regulated. The thing that you don't have with an overseas broker is negative. Well, you do sometimes have negative balance protection, but you find it harder if there's any problems to get basically your money back. Yeah. So for example, I was with Alpari when the Swiss franc peg was removed. When the Swiss franc peg was removed, basically they went bust. I had to go through the Financial Conduct Authority, who are the regulators in the UK, to get my money back. It was all covered and guaranteed up to a value of 50k, I think it was, or 80k or something. It didn't matter because it didn't have that much in there. But you're covered in that respect. If Robo Forex went bust, I would be going to the FSC in Belize and saying, I had money lodged with that broker, and they would deal with it in exactly the same way. It's more difficult because you are an overseas customer. But at the end of the day, if you want to trade with any kind of leverage above 1 to 30, you don't have a choice. That's a risk that you take. But if you are worried about it, there's a solution. You get multiple brokerages in multiple different countries, and you deposit small amounts in each, and you spread your risk. So if you're trading 10 Forex pairs, you trade one there, one there, one there, one there, one there, one there. That way you've only got to have 1/10 of your balance in each broker. So if one broker vanishes and goes pop, or something goes wrong with that currency, you only lose 1/10. But I've been trading 17 years. There's been one instance in 17 years where that's happened. So, you know, it's the same as your bank going bankrupt or your pension fund collapsing. It's a financial risk. It's money. This is the financial markets. You know, I've used the analogy before. My parent-in-law's pension fund collapsed. Northern Rock went hideously down the pan, and their pension fund halved. There's nothing you can do about it. Stuff happens like that, doesn't it? It's world, it's life. But if you're worried about it, it's probably not the right business. You know. But anyway, yes, I dropped out a couple of times. Did I? It's not me. Oh, yes, it is. 17% dropped frames. My stream quality is good, though. Don't know. FTNet, I deeply dived into the ESMA issue and found Lee's recommended brokers to fit my needs. Still have some concerns about asset protection. Yeah, it's just nothing you can do about it. Yeah, I don't know what's happening. My YouTube just changed to a cigar review. What? Don't know. Do you know what? I will do some analysis in a minute. Did anybody watch the launch of SpaceX yesterday? Because I was watching it. I was like, yeah, excited about it. I like rockets and stuff. So sitting there watching it with the family on the settee on the SpaceX channel, 170,000 viewers. Yeah. So I'm sitting there watching it. And I see the countdown going down. And the countdown gets down to 0. And it switches to Elon Musk. And Elon Musk is saying, hi, I would like you to buy some Bitcoin. Bitcoin will double your account. I'm like, what's going on? It's a fake SpaceX channel. But it had 170,000 people watching it. Yeah. And then I suddenly twigged and I looked at it and I was like, 250,000 subscribers. Then I looked at SpaceX. I was like, they got 6.8 million subscribers. So they said basically what people do during these SpaceX launches, because Elon Musk is like all over the internet selling fake crypto, isn't it? There's loads of AI scammers like just mimicking him. But this was during the live SpaceX launch. So then I switched over to a NASA channel and it still had like 18 minutes left on the countdown. I was like, oh my God. It was so funny. Let me see if I can quickly find it, because I was like, it's probably been taken down now. But this is a replay. It's Everyday Astronaut. No, it's not that. Let me look it up. SpaceX launch. I'm just going to see if I can find it, because it's NASA space flight. That's the real one. That's the one I was watching. That was a real stream. 6.69 million subs on SpaceX. It's not that one. It's probably gone. Yeah, it's gone, I think. They've taken it down. But it was just like unbelievable. You couldn't make it up. But then I Googled it. If you Google it, like SpaceX launch Bitcoin, yeah, there was a lot of people got caught out by this. Look, fake stream scamming Bitcoin. But they did this on the last launch as well. I didn't know anything about it. So if you're going to watch the next SpaceX one, use a legitimate channel, although it might look like a legitimate channel. It wasn't. Anyway, analysis time. Very amusing. Right, so today, no ADRs today, as you would imagine. It's Monday. Very quiet so far this morning. The Asian session is dead. Weekly ranges, nothing's hit. It's Monday so far. The session's dead. So there's not an awful lot to look at there. Monthly ranges at the moment, they're the same as last week pretty much, and we looked at these. So we've got New Zealand CAD, New Zealand US, and US CAD. So New Zealand CAD extended on the monthly. I'm already out of that, so that one's already played out and done. New Zealand dollar, US dollar. So this is a monthly range hit. I'm in this one too long at the moment, just waiting for a push back up into propulsion. So you can probably get into this, if you're not in it, you can probably get into it now. So we're already extended, done our monthly range already. We're halfway through the month. And the US dollar CAD, which we know about, parabolic. I've taken another one on this morning. As you can see, it's kind of a hybrid aggressive drawdown control position. So I've taken this position here this morning with a stop loss. It's not a massive position, so I haven't taken this to try and get out. I've taken this to try and do a little bit of DD control on a couple of these lower down ones. So I've actually only got 4 positions on the US dollar CAD. And it's a massive extension, so it's a very high probability. It's just that my average was about just over 175 ADR away. It's a little bit too far. So I've put a stop loss on this of about 0.3%. So it's not a big stop. Just to get a little bit of exercise. You can see why I did it, hopefully. We got a reversal alert. That's my trade there. So we got a reversal alert this morning. So they basically tested last week's high. Rejected. Those of you that were in the live members streams last week, it's price action at resistance. So took one there. If we can break this propulsion move today and get down and break the daily low, we should come and retest down here. If we can get down there, I'll take that off and just use that to get rid of a little bit of size on it. But I mean, it's a massive parabolic move, so this thing is going to come down fast. But I was hoping the news last week was going to kickstart it, but what we got actually on Friday was a whipsaw. We didn't get anything, did we, on Friday? So that was the news on Friday. We just came back up and reset, so the market did not react at all to Friday's news. So hopefully they'll start that profit take move shortly. So those are your monthly extensions. RSI's US dollar CAD 4-hour RSI extension. That's all we got to look at today. Yeah, so embedded and extended for the entire week. Yeah, not often you see that. A move of that much relative strength sustained. Yeah, there's an instance there, look, where you had it, and I suppose down here, but an entire week. Yeah, I mean half a week, maybe, but an entire week embedded is very unusual. So very big strong move. So we're looking for that pull back on that leg. So as you can see, same move as that, same move as that. We're just waiting for the inverse to happen. So just waiting for the profit take to kick in. As soon as we get some sellers into the market, that should start to move, and it could well be today. We've had the reversal in this morning. That's the first reversal alert on the hourly that we've had. Yeah. So that's the first hourly reversal alert we've had, apart from that one there on the news. So that was a news. So you would have had a reversal alert trigger there. Short. And obviously that got invalidated this morning. So there was one, but that was on news. This is the first sort of natural, if you like, reversal alert we've had. So good potential short opportunity there on the US dollar CAD. So I'm going to wish for all the pairs this morning. Have a look at everything. Long break on the DAX is underway. FTSE really not going anywhere at the moment. So we're 1 hour on the DAX. Target upside. Yeah. Weekly, monthly high. I'm just going to move TP down ever so slightly. Just within that weekly level, just in case we get limit orders trigger at the weekly. We got a monthly high and weekly high there. So just going to put my target inside that level so that if we have limits triggering at that level, obviously I want to get out before they trigger. So nice break underway on the DAX. On Robo Forex, it is written for Europeans. There is negative balance protection. Yeah. So that's, and again, one of the reasons I use Robo Forex is because you have got negative balance protection. Robo Forex at the moment, in my opinion, are probably the best broker out there for anybody that is not in the US, because they don't take US customers. Yeah. So if you're not in the US, Robo Forex. There's a link on my website up here in recommended brokers. I'll put it up here. I'll stick it in the chat. they've got good spreads, good leverage, decent commission. I say low commission, but I mean it's pretty normal, to be honest. And they're well established. They've been around a long time. So anybody that's been established a decade or more, I'm interested in. Anybody under a decade, you've got to prove yourself. There's plenty of brokers out there. The trouble is most brokers now are set up that, the leverage isn't there. Robo Forex are one of the ones that are still skirting around the edges, but I suspect at some point it will change. At that point, I'll reevaluate what I'm doing, which is partly why I'm doing a lot of strategy development work at the moment to try and get some diversification with some stop-based strategies, or not so much stop-loss based strategies, but less reliance on position trading. Because if they do pull the rug out from the leverage, and there is just no way to access 1 to 300 or more leverage anymore, position trading is dead. You can't do it because there just won't be. You need leverage. That's the whole premise of position trading and DCAing. Or you have to go down to a hybrid strategy, a little bit like the one that we looked at. I put the set file up in the Discord group this morning for the pound US dollar one. So, you need to drop to a sort of a hybrid strategy that uses kind of intra-week movement, so scaling in intra-week. But even then, leverage is going to be a problem. Yeah. So, but this is great. This is the ADR reversal strategy using Friday close. This set file, I don't know if you're in here. Who was it that posted this? B. Name's changed. Anyway, whoever posted this in the members group, I posted it in the EA set files section. This is my set file that I posted originally. So all you've done is you've tested my set file, which is fine. That's why it works, because it's my set file. But yeah, so, moving down to this type of strategy where you're trading intraday with ADR, scaling in tight ADR. If you're not working within 24, 48 hours, scrap it. It's not as good because obviously you're going to go through a lot more stagnation periods with this type of strategy because you are just taking losses. Yeah, but it's a hybrid stop loss strategy. You're not getting in, getting out with a stop and getting stopped out all the time, which obviously is incredibly hard to make work. But yeah, this is a great strategy. So position trader EA trading that away. We're going to look at this on tomorrow, ADR strategy, and do some testing on it. More testing, I should say. Right. So let me go whiz through the pairs. Just keep an eye on that DAX. FTSE's out long as well now. So upside target on the FTSE is there. All right, that's Monday. So look at that high on the FTSE. We got 3 weekly highs converging here. So very, very strong resistance up there. So target for me is Wednesday high. But that's going to be an interesting area to watch for sells if we get up there at some point this week. What do you think about the broker Pepperstone? Yeah, I used to use Pepperstone. They're Australian, I think, Pepperstone. I used them years ago. That's Pepperstone UK. Yeah, the thing is now brokers, they auto-detect where you are and they will always send you to their local one. But not a lot you can do with that. So yeah. But yeah, nothing wrong with Pepperstone. I used them years ago, but low leverage. Stream keeps breaking up, does it? Don't know. Not me. Oh yeah, it is. Well, I mean, this is the thing. Look, I can't do anything about it. It says it's dropping 25% of uh, frames. It's not using any. I can't. I can restart the stream, but I'm not doing anything different. I've had this every now and again. Every now and again, YouTube fucks up basically, and it just doesn't work. I can't change. There are no settings to change. I am streaming. That's it. I can't do anything about it if it breaks up, unfortunately. Do you need big leverage for the SIH? No, you don't need any leverage. Well, you do, obviously, but no, SIH is a scalping strategy. You're in and out same day. Anything you get into and out same day or within a couple of days, and you're not scaling in, you don't need leverage for. 1 to 30 is absolutely fine. Because it's scalping. We're trying to get small movements out the market. So worst case scenario, we're closed by the end of the day. So SIH, ORB, any type of scalping strategy where you're getting in and out the market with an individual trade is fine. XM 1 to 1,000. Yep, XM. I haven't used XM. They keep contacting me, XM, wanting me to sell their brokerage. Wanted to become an affiliate, but I've never used them. But they've been around a long time as well. Yeah, I mean, they're again. Oh, there you go. XM. That's my member login. They're. Oh, that's FXCM. No. There you go, XM. Yeah, nothing wrong with them. If you can get 1 to 1,000 with them. There's a million out there. It's an absolute minefield, brokerages. Right. I will carry on. So, looking at Aussies. So this week, from a news perspective, we have New Zealand dollar CPI coming up on Tuesday evening, and then Thursday morning we've got the Australian unemployment rate. So those are your two main Aussie stroke New Zealand news events this week. So we're weighted towards mid to end of next week for any movement on the Aussie pairs. But the main, obviously, fundamental basis for the Australian dollar is long at the moment because the interest rates are not dropping on the Australian dollar. So really want to be looking for longs on everything Aussie. New Zealand, they are dropping rates. So that's the same as everybody else. Everyone's dropping rates. So they're all bearish. So with Aussie pairs, you're likely to find it easier to get out of longs than shorts. But the Aussie's not particularly strong. The market seems to be just sitting there on it. So there's not really any reason to drive money into it because the interest rate rally has happened. Just because they're not dropping rates doesn't mean they're going to increase them, which makes them more neutral than bullish. So Aussie at the moment, not really a lot happening, as you can see on the Aussie CAD. We're just pulling back on this leg at the moment, potentially for another movement down. However, this is part of a bull leg. So depending how zoomed in or out your chart is, you're going to have a different bias on it, aren't you? So we had an entry there on Friday, which you would have exited today on the H1 RSI extension, but really not an awful lot happening on that one. H4 was an RSI extension as well on Friday, not quite high enough for me. I'm taking the 80-20s. Aussie dollar Swiss. Swiss franc at the moment, very weak. Whoops, let me just get rid of this. Very weak movement on the Swiss franc at the moment. Not really doing an awful lot. So as you can see, had shorts on this and longs. The shorts were from back here, just normal RSI extensions. I had a long there last week as well. So just normal price movement. That was your H4 RSI extension. That was your H4 RSI extension. Longed it, shorted it. Win-win. So all good on that one. But right now, sitting in the middle of nowhere. The Swiss franc, all the Swiss franc pairs and all the yen pairs obviously moved on the intervention. Since the intervention, we are not doing anything yet. So there's just confusion in the market at the moment from this perspective. These pairs, the Swiss and the yen, are unlikely to weaken dramatically with what's going on in the Middle East, but they are very likely to strengthen dramatically if it kicks off. So the best bias on all pairs against the Swiss franc at the moment is bearish, just because of if there is escalation in the Middle East, we are going to pull money out of risky assets and we're going to put them into safe havens, which is the Swiss and the yen. So doesn't mean you can't trade it in either direction, but if it kicks off in the Middle East, you're much better off being short against the Swiss. So Aussies on the Swiss sideways at the moment, but two nice trades this month so far on that one, or rather back end of last month and this month. But nothing at the moment. Aussie dollar yen, exactly the same. So all the yen and all the Swiss, they're all going to look very much the same. The yen at the moment, we've got no indication of what's happening with interest rates and how they're going to control currency moving forward. They've reduced their bond purchases, which means they're more reliant on yen strength than they are on US dollar strength. So we really don't know where this is going. And as you can see, the market really not sure either. So all the yen pairs, I'm still staying out of all yen trades. They all look the same. If you look at all the charts on the yen, they are obviously different. And again, we'll cover correlation on Thursday in the members session. But they're all looking very similar, obviously. But not really going anywhere since the intervention move. So we're kind of reset on this, and it's very hard to determine whether you should be long or short from a fundamental bias. So if the market is going to remain doing what it's doing at the moment, indecision, there's no reason why you shouldn't be taking any extremes. Any ADR hits to the upside for shorts, downside for longs, any RSI extensions to the upside, downside for longs and shorts as well. So just trade it as normal with mean reversion and it should be fine. If you want to be more cautious on the yen pairs, do that rather than that, because if it kicks off, that's going to happen. Yeah, so the yen will power up, driving everything down against it. So that's really all I can say on the yen at the moment. It's a very difficult thing to trade. As you can see, for the last sort of 3 weeks, we've gone nowhere. We had this grindy move after the intervention for a month. Then we had what looked like an additional strength move, which ended up not happening. We're stuck. Yeah, so breakout traders are going to be wanting to try and grab something. I think there's more likelihood of them just getting chewed up and it continuing to do that at the moment. So all the yens basically are the same. If you want to, probably the hourly is the best time frame to look at on yens. You're unlikely to get any 4-hour RSI extensions because there's not enough relative strength in the yen in either direction to actually get a signal. The condition isn't going to appear. So you can see there we had a big news event. It's just about giving you extensions, and it's just playing out nicely. So it's the sort of thing at the moment you want to be watching yesterday's highs, weekly highs and lows, RSI extensions on the hourlies. So if you're going to use the market reversal alert CA or the position trader EA to trade the yen, hourly RSI extensions, 5-minute entries, and just keep targets small because it's not going anywhere. So when you get in, don't expect to get a big move. So that's all you can really do with those. The Swiss pairs as well. So obviously Aussie Swiss, we just looked at. CAD Swiss, you're going to find them all the same. Market very range bound on the Swiss franc. Jordan has said that they're going to manipulate the currency as they deem fit. But there hasn't been any reason to do anything with it. So again, at the moment we're stuck, and it's always the way when you identify a range, you go, I'm going to be a range trader, and as soon as you take that first trade, it starts trending. Yeah, at some point this is going to go and it is going to break out, and it's more likely to be on a conflict escalation where the Swiss powers up. So again, all the Swiss pairs, you should be able to trade in any direction fairly decently at the moment. However, safest is to be trading against the Swiss franc, i.e. shorting against the Swissy because of the safe haven runs. So they're all very much the same. All the Swissies look the same. All the the yens look pretty much the same. A little bit of deviation on them based on the strength of the other cross, but Not really doing much. So US dollar yen, we looked at this last week. I'm just flicking around a little bit because obviously the yen and the Swiss pairs are kind of their own thing at the moment. But we looked at this last week. We are very, very, very close to the 150 level on the US yen. This is a known intervention level. We've intervened at it multiple times in the past. It's the level that the Japanese deem a kind of limit, if you like, for don't want to trade above that level. Yeah. So just watch this level if we manage to get there. I said all of last week, pretty much every day last week, I said we're within an ADR, and we're still within an ADR. Yeah, it just isn't going anywhere at the moment. So if we do get to that level, it's a really good looking short opportunity. Just bear in mind, if you hold short and it does continue to go, you are going to be hemorrhaging money in regards to swaps. It's a long swap pair, meaning if you're shorting it, it costs you money constantly to hold in swaps. So just be aware there's an extra cost in doing business if you're shorting the US dollar yen. So last week's high, if we break that and we test that 150, that would be a good looking short. Just going to stick an alert up there. I'm not going to be able to this again. Oops. So I'm just going to stick an alert up there, just to remind me when we get there, if we get there. Aussie New Zealand. So far the bias on the Aussie New Zealand is going exactly where it should be, up, because New Zealand are dropping their interest rates. Australians are not, or rather neutral. So bullish moves are more likely to get you out faster than bearish moves. I had a trade on this on Monday last week, which was a nice straight in and out off the RSI. I had another one there which I decided to bail on, which would have been in profit now, but yeah, I mean, it's Aussie New Zealand at the moment. It's one of those pairs that can go into strong trends, but at the moment we're very nicely range bound. So H4 RSI extension, you see that's why I got into that one there, working out very well. We had another one then which would be in profit now, but at the minute it's a good looking pair for trading extensions. So, but you know, you're going to get these weeks or months where you go into these parabolic moves. So it's one of those that's, I've got a love-hate relationship with the Aussie New Zealand because I've been in some nasty squeezes on it. At the moment though, positioning would be better long than short, just because of the fundamentals on it. However, at some point they are going to drop that rate, so that sends us back into range. So at the minute, same as usual, waiting for RSI extensions, but as you can see, there's not an awful lot happening on it at the minute. Very flat at the moment there. So Aussie US dollar, like a steam train at the minute. We've got some decent strength coming through on that US, even though we are dropping interest rates. If you look at the news last week from the US, we had the FOMC meeting minutes, which didn't really do a lot, but the CPI number came down. Now, the CPI number coming down typically will be bearish for the US dollar. We had the PPI numbers coming out pretty much as expected, slightly bearish, which is why we've got that bearish move. But that number there, the CPI, is telling us that inflation is under control and coming down, which means that the Fed need to drop interest rates quickly. Now, the fact that the US dollar is powering up on dropping interest rates and dropping CPI is not necessarily due to a really strong US dollar. It's due to everything else being weaker than the US dollar. So that will unravel. So any piece of negative news that we get on the US this week is likely to send it back down and start that correction. So at the moment, I'm long on this from here, which is an hourly RSI extension, but I got in on the 4. Yeah. So long at the moment on that one. Got 2 positions within ADR, so just waiting for a pullback on that back into there. But as you can see, it is bullish, and it should remain bullish because the US fundamentally will go bear, but at the moment it's just a little bit strong. So longs on that one at the moment. Just waiting basically to see if we come and test a new high, but I'll be out way before that with whatever I get. CAD Swiss, we've looked at the Swissies and the yens. Euros, so at the moment, euro bearish. This week we've got the interest rate drop. So we're dropping down to 3.4. If we look at the fundamentals on it, euro, where are we? We're at 3.65. We dropped 0.6, so we dropped another 0.1% on the forecast. Inflation is below target, which is why, again, they're doing another drop. We need to get this down because if disinflation is bad, so we need to get that down, basically, because that's coming down very, very quick. GDP is starting to suffer because of disinflation, and unemployment is stable but massively high. So that number being high makes that high. So they just need to get this down as fast as they can. So the euro should be bearish overall, and it is going that way. So if you want to be super safe, short only would be the better option. However, it's the euro, so it's constantly moving, but it is likely to have a much more bearish stance moving forward because they are having to drop interest rates faster and they're doing it first. So if you look at where we are with interest rates in the eurozone, we're at 3.65. Everyone else is still in the 4s and the 5s. They are way beyond us and they're dropping further today or this week. So yeah, it's got to be more bearish stance on the euro. So best trading opportunities at the moment are going to be waiting for ADR extensions to the upside, RSI extensions to the upside, and looking for short opportunities. Bounces on the weekly highs, monthly highs to the upside. So, but long trades will also work. Yeah. So if you'd have got in anywhere on that leg there, you're out. It will have bull moves and bear moves, but obviously the bear moves will, as you can see, be stronger than the bull moves usually. So that's a nice correction. If you look at it on a fib perspective, we've got a 50% retracement on that leg, which potentially is where we're going to start the next leg down. So good looking shorts. I'm short already. I've already banked one on that one on Euro odd. So I took one off, which was a second entry on Monday. Got out of that on Wednesday. And then it's continued to push down. I had an exit on this on Friday, and I've decided to leave it on because obviously it's a short bias. I thought, screw it. I'm going for the next propulsion gap on it. So I've kind of exited that one and banked. I haven't done any drawdown control on the original position because I will just add that one back on again if it gets back up here and retest this area. And go for the run because I think we got a good chance of a movement down on that one. The other reason I like holding this at the moment is because obviously the bias with the Australian dollar being sort of neutral long, it's even more likely to drop than most of the other pairs. So shorts on that. Euro CAD got out of longs on that one last week. There you go. So there's a good example. Shorts, longs, doesn't matter really. It's moving, but overall the bias is bearish. Yeah. So right now, I think you had an entry on this. Yeah, not quite. So you're up in propulsion at the moment. H4 RSI extension above 70 on Friday. So potentially, you can see how weak it is. Yeah, not massively weak at the moment because we got the euro rate dropping, the CAD rate dropping, everybody's dropping everything. So, it's one of those kind of trade in either direction, I think, at the moment, but more of a stance bearish than bullish. So Euro CAD at the moment, there's no entries on it. You had a little one on, you wouldn't have got into that really. Might have got in on something there. So you might be short on this already if you're taking H1 RSI extensions on 70-30 levels. But yeah, nothing wrong with it. This area here, obviously, if we come and test ADR today, assuming we're going to keep making lower highs, be a good short. Morning, Ismet. Let me just quickly check the indices. 2R on the FTSE. 2R on the DAX. I'm just going to let the FTSE run. This is locked in now. So as you can see, I'm trailing 2R. So it's a free trade today, targeting that high. So that's fine. I'm just thinking out loud. I'm not. I'm thinking quietly in my brain, but I just want to see the trailer kick in. Yeah, there you go. So traders kicked in. So both locked in free trades today. There's just a lot of money on the table. I'm just going to take one off the DAX, just to bank something this morning. And then I'm just going to target that 3R level. Just want to get some money in the bank, just in case. Right, so EuroCAD, yeah, much prefer shorts. Obviously, if we get up into there, that would be a good looking opportunity for a short today. Euro Swiss covered, Euro Pound. It's just the pain in my backside, as you can see at the moment. This thing is it's always a slug. The Euro Pound is one of the slowest pairs out there. ADR is 41. It's terrible. So when you get into a position when the thing starts to move, it's just taking forever to get out. It's profitable to trade, but you're going to have to hold it. The other problem with the Euro Pound is I have big swaps on it. So when you long it, you got swaps, which is a pain. But yeah, I mean, it's bearish because obviously the euro's dropping. However, like I said this morning, that CPI number is forecast to come down below target this week. Bailey should have dropped interest rates faster and harder than he has, and he hasn't done it. So we should be down at 4.75 or lower by now. We hit the 2% inflation target. It's bounced and it's forecast to drop. So inflation comes down in market structure. The GDP number is suffering, which it always will when that is too low. Our unemployment is going well. There's absolutely, and I think most economists agree with my perspective on this, this should be coming down faster than it is. Yeah, we need to help the housing market. There's all sorts of stuff that we need this down for. The reason he's holding it in place is because services inflation, services CPI is sticky. Yeah, services CPI, yes, it's a big part of inflation, but it's not the be all and end all. And everybody else is dropping. The last thing we want is a collapse on the pound because we're doing it too late. We had the same problem when they put the rates up. We didn't do it fast enough in COVID. So dragging their heels again. However, so at the moment, bias is that slightly bearish, but if that CPI number comes out as a negative this week, the pound is going to disappear. That's going to fly. Yeah, so with the euro pound, they always try and keep the interest rates, the FX rates as close as possible to parity, which is 1. So it's always very, 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 very range bound. Yeah, the problem is when it goes into these grindy moves, they just keep going for ages. So it takes you a while to get out of all the trades, as you can see. So I'm using H4 RSI, and that's really all I want to use on this. I'd be wary about taking any ADR reversals on it. They probably would work, but a bit tricky. If you get into an ADR move and it goes, you're in really early. So at the minute, RSI extensions, I'd much rather be shorting it than longing it, but unfortunately the only signals I've had have been longs. There was one short there on the day that I got out of my longs, so I didn't get into that. That's the only signal short we've had, and it literally played out within a day. So yeah, much rather be short than long, but had a lovely short there, look, on that one. But yeah, just at the moment, yeah, there's absolutely no reason why this bearish market structure shouldn't continue. It's just a case of how far we're going to go that way. And when that CPI number comes out negative, that might give you the kick up there to get you out. Yeah. Euro New Zealand, again, trade this in either direction at the moment, longs or shorts, really, sideways moving. No reason it won't. These guys are both dropping their interest rates fast, both dropping them at a similar speed, and by similar amounts. Therefore, a bear against a bear is a range. So RSI extension to the upside or downside, in or out, as you can see. Had quite a number of trades on this. This one had a short on there, had longs there, had a long there and a short as well. I got out of that short at break even because we had news, but it would be playing out now. So yeah, would have actually played out. So this can't quite see it, it's a bit small, but this short here I got out of. Remember, I put a break even stop. We talked about this last week. I got a break even stop. I got slipped on the news. Second entry would have been there. Exit would have been here. I would have been out of it nicely, but I decided to take a break even on that one. But that was the last trade. So again, longs or shorts, Euro New Zealand. Doesn't really matter which way you go on that one. Just wait for it to go somewhere so we can get out with it. Euro US dollar, obviously coming down at the moment based on the US dollar strength. I've got long on this at the moment, 2 positions from last week. Third position will go on if we continue to drop into propulsion this week. So there is a chance of a 225 ADR move to get this propulsion gap filled. If that happens, obviously I'll be scaling in. I'll be in 4 positions down here. Then we're on that leg. Then we'll be looking to push up into propulsion. But right now, I'm targeting way too high. Why was I targeting that? Yeah, I don't know. I'm moving my target down on that. So I'm going to target last week's high. So yeah, there we go. So second position's on. Average is moved down, moving my target down. So I'm looking to get out if we test last week's high on that one. Pound. So I'm just got to go. The live stream starting in a minute. So I'll quickly whiz through the pounds. At the moment, obviously the bullish pound is because we're not dropping interest rates. With the CPI number coming out this week as forecast, if it does come out as forecast, that will probably weaken the pound, which means everything pound-wise will be dropping. So all the pound crosses, at the moment, they're tradable in either direction, but obviously probably more of a bearish stance on them. So there's no trades on anything at the moment. Nothing set up. Got out of that one last week. So there was an entry last week up here. That was a 4-hour RSI. Yeah, straight in, straight out. Pound US dollar. Obviously, this one at the moment, the US dollar has been strong. We've had a good strong week on it. So we're looking for a pullback on the US at the moment. So longs on that as well. However, if you get into a long on this, there's no reason to get into it. You would have got into one here. So you may be in this already, actually. I'm in the Euro US dollar. So yeah, you'll be scaling into it. Monthly high potentially for an entry this week. But obviously that news, we've got loads of US news and loads of pound news this week that can move that. New Zealand CAD out of that one last week. There, off that RSI. So that's done. Bull and bear, doesn't matter. They're both commodity pairs. Trade that one in either direction. And New Zealand US is the same. So I'm long on this one. Again, 2 positions on. Target is all the way up there. I'm going to adjust that down because I've got a second position on. I'm just going to go for an ADR to the upside on this, which is basically that weekly low, which we retested. Look. So we hit that. Bounced, pushed through it, resistance off, down. So that area there, ADR today, target to the upside. And US dollar CAD, my friend, the US dollar CAD. My main problem at the moment. So waiting for an unraveling of that, of some percentage. Just waiting for them to do something. This one here, I've gone into one this morning on it, as I said, with a stop. So I'm trying it's not an aggressive drawdown control position. Just because it's such a steam train at the moment, I don't want to take an aggressive too big. But what I will do with this is I've got this one on here. if this is now pushing up, if this stays within that high, this is going to be the retest of the market reversal alert. Yeah. I may add more size on a break of that short there, of that low. And that will, in effect, those two positions that I take, another one there, will become an aggressive drawdown control position. And they'll both have a stop loss on there, which will be about a 0.8% loss if it didn't work. However, if it does work, that's going to bring my average up here. And then I'll do some drawdown control using these two positions. So I'm hoping this week we get a down week, because obviously what we're off the back of now is two strong up weeks. Yeah, so I'm looking for a pullback into here. Even if they do that for any reason, I don't know why they would, but if they did do that for any reason, some kind of pullback before it goes is what I'm looking for. But at the moment, obviously, we haven't really gone anywhere. There we go. That's all the pairs. Sorry I had to whiz through that, because I've got to go and do the member stream now. Is the GE not one of the better pairs to scalp because it's so slow? EG, scalping is getting in and out the market fast. You've just described getting in and out the market fast on the slowest moving thing. Probably not. What RSI and levels are you currently using? RSI 10 on the 4 hour. I'm trading 80-20 at the moment. Are you going to code the ADR indicator for TradingView? No. Right, there we go. Sorry, whizzing through the questions. So members, I will be in 5 minutes. I just need to shut this stream down, wait for it to finish, and then I can start that up. So we're going to be covering basics of fundamentals today, what you need to be aware of with news, how news works, how the fundamentals drive the market, scorecarding systems, how the banks scorecard, how the banks come up with commitment of traders, directional biases, all that sort of stuff. So everything you need to know about fundamentals, but not in detail, not economist level, how it affects us as traders, basically, and how we can use it. So that's what we're covering today. So yeah, hopefully I will see you guys, if you're members, in the next stream in a couple of minutes. Other than that, I'll be back tomorrow. DAX is about to TP. FTSE's getting stuck. I'm just going to close that out, actually, so I don't even have to think about it. Just closing the DAX. So closing the DAX, £500. Got 330 running long on the FTSE, and I'll let that continue. All right, so have a good day. Anything else you need, I'll be in Discord. I'll see you in the member stream in a minute. If not, I will see you hopefully tomorrow at 8 o'clock for the normal stream. All right, have a good day.